I thought it was time for another fountain pen shootout. And I thought what we would do today is look at these two chrome and gold pens. Now they come in other finishes. I just happen to have the chrome and gold pens. The company sent me other finishes, but I gave those away. So here we have Ellington, this pen made by Ellington Pens, and then we have the Scriveiner EDC. Two companies from the UK, and two different pens, but the commonality here was British chrome gold. They're normally sized pens, I would say. The Ellington is certainly bigger. The Scriveiner EDC is meant. EDC is kind of a pocket pen. Come in different finishes, etc., just like the Ellingtons, as I already said. Now, the first things first, as to the pricing. As I'm recording this video, this is July 2023. The Ellington pen goes for 55 Canadian. I'm sorry, it just gave me Canadian currency, so convert it to whatever you want. The Scriveiner is £50. That makes neither of these pens super cheap. You can certainly get cheaper pens, think for example of a Majon Q1. But what I will say is this, both of these are solidly built. And often when I get sent these kinds of pens, I think, well, yeah, here's another sort of fashion pen. I don't know how much I'm going to like this. Both of these I liked so much. I gave a bunch of them away, but I kept these two for myself. So both brands were nice enough that I wanted to keep them for myself. Now, why is that? Well, let's quickly go over both pens. I've done separate reviews, so I'm not going to cover all the parts, but there are a couple of things that I like about them. First of all, I like chrome and gold. It's not for everyone, but I like it. Here we have this Ellington pen. A couple of things I really like. I like this sort of faceted nut on top. I like that a lot. I think it's a nice design element. Snap cap can easily be undone single-handedly. And then you have a number 5 unassuming nib. It is laser engraved with the Ellington logo, plastic feed, and the pen takes cartridges or converter. In this case, I put in one of these little cartridges that came with, it came with it. That came with these, yeah, with this brand. Strange cartridge, I must say. Strange, oh no, this is Webson Gill, sorry. Strange cartridge, weird shape, very thin nipple, but anyway, it fit this pen, so I thought may as well use it. So there we have that. What I like about it is it's a good size for a pen that I think works for a lot of people. For me, it could be a little girthier, but that's me. For a lot of people, I think this is a great size. Not too big, not too small, not too skinny. It's certainly not super girthy, but not too skinny. Works well. Has a nice lip at the end of this section to hold on to. Here you have a nice pen. And it posts very securely. It becomes a little top heavy because there's a lot of metal on the end there, but that makes for kind of a nice balance, and it's very comfortable to hold. What I really like about this pen is the nib. Very, very comfortable nib. Has some feedback, but is not scratchy. Just lets you know you're using a fountain pen, not say a ballpoint or a pencil or a rollerball. Very, very pleasant to use. I really, really like that. The other pen, the Scriveiner EDC, feels a little heavier to me. Kind of the Kaweco principle in that it has a large cap, relatively large cap. If you put the pen next to the cap, you'll see what I mean, right? The cap is, well, what shall we call that, about 2/3 of the pen or something. But that is designed for a purpose. It does actually have screw threads on the end of the barrel, and you can actually screw that cap on the end. What I'm very impressed by, especially for a pen at this price, is that the clip and the nib line up pretty well. Is it perfect? I don't think it's perfect, but it is certainly very, very good. And that's a nice eye for detail. Nice engraving on the clip, adds just a little bit more cachet, Scriveiner logo, and this light knurling on the section makes it very comfortable to hold. This pen I can actually use unposted, so it is not so small that you require posting to make it comfortable. I have fairly large hands, I can use it unposted. Posted to me is more comfortable, but as with the Ellington pen, fairly top heavy. So if you don't want that, you can use it unposted. I bet you can use it unposted. The nib is number 5 Schmidt, simple, unassuming. Guess what? Works really well. Plastic feed, nothing fancy, works really, really well. In this case, I took ink from the same cartridges, those Webson Gill cartridges I put in the Ellington pens pen, so that I would have the same ink in the 2 pens. And there you have it. So we have 2 fun pens, both chrome colored, both with chrome highlights, or finish I should say. And if you don't like that, you are welcome. Oh, I just fiddled with my microphone. I'm so sorry. If you don't like it, you can buy another finish or another pen. It's that simple. Now, what about the pens and how they write? Let's start off with this one. Here we have the Ellington. It's just such a lovely writer. I was really, really pleasantly surprised by this pen. Very pleasant nib. I don't know who makes it. It doesn't look exactly like a Bock nib to me, but just that loveliest little bit of feedback. It's just such a great writer, and I like it so much. I actually find myself reaching for this pen quite a bit and taking it to work. Robust, rolls off your desk, no problems. It's all metal. I just really love it. Very nicely tuned, as you can see on the wet side of things, because it's a fairly dry ink. Just works really nicely. Line variation, I mean, there is a little bit. Don't expect too much, and as always, very careful, but you can squeeze out some line variation. Really, really not bad. Then we have, on the other side, this Scriveiner EDC. You'll have to forgive my handwriting because my hand is resting on these rings here. Of the 2, I have found this nib to be slightly drier. You can maybe tell. Still very pleasant. Still pretty smooth. Still a nice writer. But as I said, a little drier. Line variation, there is some. Again, very careful. I feel there is more than there is with the Ellington Pens pen. My concluding thoughts. I'm just going to put the handwriting away. I find all the, it's just a little distracting, all the squiggles. My concluding thoughts. Which of the 2 pens would I pick? For portability, the EDC. For writing quality, the Ellington pen. So I wanted to call this Scriveiner. This is Scriveiner. This is Ellington. I'd pick the Ellington for its writing capacity. I do really like the model of the Scriveiner though. I love that postability, the large cap, the fairly small pen, fits well in the breast pocket of a dress shirt, for example. Works really well. I like that. On both pens, I like the eye for detail. The engraving of the clip, a bit Art Deco on the Scriveiner. The nut at the end that just makes things a little different, and I like that a lot. The metal will scuff up. That's unavoidable. I think that adds charm to these pens, and to be frank, I really like that. So were I to pick Ellington for writing, Scriveiner for the overall looks, I think these are good pens if you're looking for a gift that is not a completely crappy pen. You don't want to give someone a $5 pen. You want to give them a pen that feels nicely made, feels solid. I think these are great options. They are well made. I've had no issues with them. I think there is a lot of potential for this kind of market. They're fun. And there are some suggestions of, well, they're made in China, or they're made from parts in China. Sure, but I see 2 solidly built pens that write well. I don't know what else to tell you. So there we have it. I hope this was useful. I hope this was entertaining. I thank both Ellington and Scriveiner for sending me this pens. Let's not forget that that's what makes these kinds of videos possible. Let me know which of the 2 you would pick. I'm always interested to hear that and why. And that's it. I will gladly see you again next time. Bye.